All right, we are live. Welcome to the Spinning Backfist MMA show for UFC 317 edition. It is Robbie Fox, Big Ev, and Jay. Second, they are on their way back to the hotel right now. They were at the fights tonight, so we had boots on the ground coverage. Very excited to get into everything. Obviously, Ilya Topuria versus Paddy the Baddy's next. So that's very exciting for all of us. Let me tell everyone first about one of our sponsors here. That is Game Time. There's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Lucky for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Obviously, not just baseball, but fights, concerts, movies, shows, whatever you want. Not movies, but anything else that you want to go to, Game Time has you covered. If I pull up Game Time right now, if I'm looking for baseball tickets specifically, what do they got for me? What do they got? Let's see. I click on the home page and I type in Yankees at Red Sox. How about this? The next time Yankees are playing the Sox, you can get into Fenway for $137. Great ballpark, great time, great app. It's Game Time. Download the Game Time app and take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Create an account, use code BACKFIST for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BACKFIST, BACKFIST, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time. All right, let's talk UFC 317. What a night of fights. It's nice to have an International Fight Week that went right. International Fight Week has been cursed and doomed in the past with main events and fights falling through or just bad fights in general. Tonight kind of rocked. You have amazing finishes on the prelims. RoboCop basically killing Jack Hermanson. Hope he's okay. That was very scary. And then you have a fight of the year contender in Van and Royval. And then you've got two unbelievably dominant performances from champs. Pantoja is not going to get the respect he deserves, kind of par for the course for Pantoja, because Topuria obviously went on and had an insane knockout in the main event. But give Pantoja his credit. Oh my God, he's a fucking great fighter. And then Ilya Topuria goes out there and does what he does best, and that's absolutely eviscerate the most likable fighters in MMA. I think Ev had a great tweet tonight. He was like, if you do the math, there's like an 87% chance that Topuria has knocked out your favorite fighter. Because, I mean, this last three, he's got Max Holloway, he's got Alexander Volkanovski, now he's got Charles Oliveira. And I hate that tonight came at Oliveira's expense, obviously. I'm a huge Oliveira guy. I was riding on him in the pause. I was riding him in this fight. Pause. Again, I came out wrong. But obviously, it's a special all-time run from Topuria. There's no denying that. What we're watching right now is all-time in the record books and the history books of MMA. We're going to be talking about Topuria and the fucking power that he's got. Even at 155, clearly it fucking translates. 90 seconds, he flatlines Oliveira and makes it look scary. It was another, like, oh my God, he's knocked out. He gets hit with unnecessary ground and pound, which I don't fault Topuria for. I don't even. RoboCop, that's trickier. That's like right on the line. I know it's the referee's fault to separate the fighters. That one was like, bro, he was dead for a while. Jack Hermanson on the floor, fucking fencing position. And then he gets hit with one of the worst ground and pound shots of all time. That was like an H-bomb. I think that was the most vicious knockout of the end. Honestly, Topuria kind of like matched it in the main event, but that felt like it was the most vicious knockout of the year, whether you like it or not. The ground and pound shot made it. That's assault, brother. That's the scariest thing ever. RoboCop in the post-fight interview also said, like, yeah, if he did that to me, I wouldn't be bothered. War is war, which is badass to say. I think if I'm Jack Hermanson, I'm like, bro, come on. You didn't need the follow-up shot. That was crazy. What do we got in the chat? Ilya is what McGregor should have been, and this is coming from an Irishman. Let me say this. Him dropping the McGregor line was kind of weird. That was like on Paddy, as soon as Paddy gets into the octagon, like he's been called out so many times for being a McGregor clone or whatever. For Paddy to get into the octagon and we have a face-to-face and it's serious and it's awesome. And then he's immediately like, I'll rest my balls on your forehead or whatever. It was just like, oh, he's doing the McGregor thing again. Like, and I don't mean to be a Topuria hater. I know I'm Team Paddy the Baddy, obviously, and have been for years. Me and Paddy broke down the the actual hotel fight when they got into a hotel fight. I'm in a hotel now, by the way. If the Wi-Fi is shaky, I apologize. That's why. Let me make sure I'm also, yeah, I was making sure I was using the right mic. Mitt Romney says, Robbie, this is like Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One, Ilya Topuria. I mean, that's correct. There's no stopping him right now, seemingly. Hopefully, Paddy's the guy to do it. When they came face to face, Paddy fucking dwarfed him. And I know Paddy's out of camp, so people will say Paddy's much bigger out of camp. He's much bigger, though. Much bigger. Like, he's going to present interesting challenges to Topuria. I think where Oliveira tonight, all week, he was kind of saying, I'm going to meet him in the center of the octagon. I'm going to fucking stand and bang with him. We're going to have this amazing war. And in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, that's what you say when you're going to fucking use your range and you're going to fight smart. I love Charles Oliveira. I don't know if I would call that fighting super smart, what he did tonight. Like, that was kind of crazy to me, kind of reckless. And I don't think Paddy's going to go in that reckless. Islam ran away scared. People are certainly going to talk about that now. That narrative is going to come up for sure. Shout out to Cody Goldman. And shout out to Ev and Jack this week, crushing it in Vegas. They did a lot of great interviews. Check them out on the Spin and Backfist page. A lot of great clips came of it. And Jack asked Topuria, like, how do you think this is going to go? And Topuria answered. He said, if Charles Oliveira does what he says he's going to do, I think I'm going to knock him out very quickly. And he was obviously right. Alex says, what run would Topuria have to go on to become the GOAT? It's so hard to say. Obviously, right now at this point in his career, but the last three he beat are three that will go down in, like I said, the history books and the record books as some of the best. This hotel looks like you're in Aruba. I'm in Lake Placid. I was up here helping them film stuff for the new mascot show, which is going to be very good, very funny stuff. But it was an interesting experience. My first time watching International Fight Week, like in a cabin with not a ton of service, but there was one spot in the backyard that did have service. So I was walking my phone to the backyard, watching the fights, texting Nate blogs to upload. So shout out Nate. He was getting my blogs up tonight. I would text him the headline, the blog, the whatever. Good stuff. Are you coming to the Chicago card next month, making my boots on the ground debut? Bryant says. I don't know if I'm coming to the Chicago card next month, but I wouldn't rule it out. We were talking about that. It'd be a fun trip. Austin from Twitter says, are you like 22 to 25 giving insight on the UFC? I'm turning 27 in like 2 weeks. Fucking boom roasted. Tommy Smokes, make a cameo appearance. First ever on Spin and Backfists.
What's up? Another program checked off the list. Me and Robbie together in a hotel room tonight.
All right, that's enough.
And you could do the rest of them.
We got two beds. We got two beds. Chill out. Settle down. Water. Thank you. I do believe Ev and Jack will join at some point from the hotel, or maybe even from their Uber or cab, whatever they're getting back to the hotel. First, before they join, let me tell everyone about another one of our sponsors here on the Spin and Backfist MMA show. That is DraftKings. We love DraftKings. Ooh, kind of blocks my face, that graphic there. Per usual, it is what it is. And once again, with DraftKings, we're talking baseball. I know this is an MMA podcast, but we're talking baseball. Nothing says summer like long days, clutch plays, and firing off a few bets on the game, all with the DraftKings Sportsbook. As the season heats up, so do the bats, and the DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with live betting, home run props, odds boosts, and more. Whether you're chasing dingers or jumping in mid-game, there's always action to be had. If you've never bet on baseball before, it's easy. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers, baby. And here's something special for first-time customers. New DraftKings customers, bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BACKFIST. That is code BACKFIST, BACKFIST, for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. We thank our friends at DraftKings. I don't know if the night turned around for our guy Big Ev, but I know he wasn't doing great early on in the card. I would love to talk to him and see if he rounded things out maybe in the main card. Jack as well. I would love to know how they did tonight on DraftKings. Here we go. More questions from the chat. Any other things? Obviously, the Terrence McKinney finish was very impressive. Terrence McKinney and Slava Claus. That's the exact kind of fight you want on a card like this, an International Fight Week card, especially the placement of that fight, like on the prelims. And Slava, credit to him, he fought out of that about as hard as he possibly could. The legs kicking and fighting, and he was scratching and clawing trying to get out of that. But shout out Terrence McKinney. It was a great finish. Great stuff. Obviously, he's one of those guys where he's going to go out there and give you your money's worth in the first round. Usually he's not going to make it to the second round. Bryant says 16 first round finishes in 17 wins. Chris says great card. I agree. I think the UFC is friggin' thrilled with that. Chavez beat Paul. Is that true? Are you trolling me? Did Jake Paul just lose? This fight, by the way, Jake Paul Chavez, talk about nobody. And I mean nobody giving a damn about a fight. Let's see. Jake Paul. Is that true? Am I getting trolled? Am I getting hot billied in the chat, as we call it here? It says Jake Paul won. So I did get hot billied. Although the first headline I looked up, it was a Sports Illustrated Mexico link. And it says Jake Paul humilia a la Julio Cesar Chavez. So maybe it was humiliating. Not sure if Robbie will talk UFC on the stream. We've been talking UFC. We've been talking UFC 317. We've been talking Paddy getting in the octagon with Topuria. Do you think this is a good point here? Good question from the chat. Do you think Dana makes Paddy versus Topuria? He seemed hesitant in his post-fight presser. I'm shocked kind of about how hesitant he seemed, because that I thought was an awesome one. And I know him, Paddy, friggin' kind of like, I was going to say rider. Again, I don't mean to use it like that. Pause. Not right. Big Paddy fan. Paddy stan. But I thought that was like a great visual to end International Fight Week on. Them getting face-to-face, the shove. There's obviously years worth of history there. I know that Paddy, maybe some people would say, oh, he should win one more fight. But he's kind of there, and the UFC has made much crazier fights. I mean, Dan Henderson getting a title fight when Michael Bisping was champ. Cheeto Vera getting a title shot when Sean O'Malley was champ. These things happen. It's the fight business, and you want to put together fights that have built-in rivalries. So that's, I mean, come on. You can't be that mad at it. And who are you going to give it to instead? Gaethje? Or is it going to be Gaethje? And, he gets it right away. Oh, look at this. I Love Dogs sent a super chat. 199. Shout out for the 199. $2 at 2 a.m. Very nice. Rob, not MMA, but what did you think of the wrestling? There was wrestling on today. It was WWE Night of Champions. I thought it was a pretty good show. I think Cena and Punk was amazing. Like, for their last match ever, for it to end in that many kind of like smoke and mirror shenanigans. I wasn't in love with it, but I thought for the most part it was pretty good. I thought Cody and Orton was awesome. I thought the girls had pretty good matches. Solo and Fatu was pretty good. Another friggin' Samoan has spawned. What else do we got in the chat? Have to reward for being active. Justin and Armin have been on the sidelines. Armin for sure. You could bring up for sure. Islam Ilya has to happen. I would love for it to happen, but I don't think it's likely now. I mean, Armin is the guy who deserves it. You could say that. Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot Armin when I said, who do you give it to? Just Gaethje. To be fair, it's 2 a.m, and we have been shooting all day. I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit worn out right now. Tracking notification. What does that mean? The owner can look on AirPods. Sorry. Something came up on my phone. Confused me. I think Topuria career as champ. I think Topuria career as champ at 155 doesn't last long. I mean, people forget Jai Herbert really rocked Ilia Topuria a few years ago. And I know he's improved as a fighter for sure. He's an amazing fighter right now. You can't really take anything away from him. But Jai Herbert rocked him a few years ago. Let's not forget that. Jai Herbert had him in a precarious position a few years ago. Armin's back hurts, though. I know he's got back issues or whatever. Someone said, what are your thoughts on Jake? What's the thought on Jake? I've never been a big fan of the Jake Paul fights. I've never been that interested. It's not that I hate on him. It's that I'm truly not that, like, not that interested in watching him fight, all of these random aged fighters or MMA fighters that hopped over. I don't know if I ever watch his fights live. I'll always watch the highlights. He's had a few amazing knockouts. I won't take that away from him, but it's not something that really interests me. Like, I tried to watch the Tyson fight live, but it was kind of choppy and all over the place. Pantoja feels legit unstoppable. Would you give Van a shot? I think you do give Van a shot, but Pantoja, he does feel unstoppable. Like, I'm taking Pantoja in that fight. If gun to my head, who's winning, Pantoja or Van? It's Pantoja. Undoubtedly, I'm taking him. But Van's a fucking savage. That fight tonight was amazing. Amazing. So many people that weren't even like UFC fans I saw on the timeline tweeting, "Oh my God, what a fight. Fucking gladiators. What a war." I think someone tweeted me and said that was fucking Stefan and Forrest again, with different stakes, obviously. How fast does Topuria turn around? November, December. If you don't have, I don't know if they would want to double up. I was going to say, if you don't have Jones Aspinall at MSG in November, do you do Topuria Paddy at MSG in November and then Aspinall gone? But I don't know if they would want to double up. Like, those fights could individually sell a lot of pay-per-views. If they doubled up, that would be crazy though. But you could also throw Kayla and Amanda Nunes on the MSG card. Imagine MSG was Topuria, Paddy, Kayla, Nunes. That'd be kind of crazy. Dana was asked if it was possibly a top 10 fight ever. Sounds crazy, but it may have been. It feels too early to call for me personally. Like, I've seen, I think it's Seth Rogen has the take that he thinks the Oscars should be awarding movies that are 5 years in the past. And to a degree, I feel that way about MMA takes like this. Like, if we're talking top 10 ever, I feel like we need like 5 years to pass and see if it stands the test of time. But it was an amazing fight. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. They broke a ton of records. Yep, they did. Is there any chance Pantoja can go up versus Merab if he gets through Van? No other fights to give him. I don't know. There's so much of people, champs, going up at this point and vacating and going up or trying to be a double champ that part of me almost rejects the idea because it's just happening so often. But I don't know. Maybe that happens. Pantoja's def too small, but if he smokes Van, I think it would be cool with him trying to move up. He's earned it. Yep. I mean, people would be into that. Do you think Jones Aspinall is real? No. I mean, unfortunately, I think it's clear that ain't happening anymore. I think it could have happened at some point. Someone at the post-fight presser asked Dana today about Jones' tweets this week. And I think Jones was kind of implying the UFC was trying to get him out of retirement once he did retire. And Dana was like, that's not true. Who are you going to believe? I think he said. PC Strickland in the chat. What's up, PC Strickland? He said, what an absolutely wild night of fights. RoboCop needs to be arrested for murder. Dude, I still can't get over how vicious the ground and pound shot was. Even Dave tweeted about it. Dave's not always tweeting UFC on cards that, Paddy's not on, or there's not like an absolutely massive fight that he knows. Like, I know this was a massive fight for UFC fans. I'm not sure if Dave knew like Topuria and Oliveira were fighting tonight, but that got Dave out of his UFC cave, I guess, his UFC shell. 100% a Hall of Fame fight. Definitely could be. Would you rather oil up Paddy the Baddy or Topuria? Oh, stop it. Everyone loves to hit the oil up after the Dana live stream. Great stuff. Everyone knows Dana's the only one you could oil up. Pantoja is in a weird spot because he's lapped the division. Van is an exciting upstart, but moving up to Merab is a matchup I'm not sure I want to see. Yeah, people are very back and forth. Ooh, Jack Mex says they're going to hop on at 5. That's perfect. If Islam beats Jack, would Topuria go up or Islam come down? To be quite honest, I don't know if Islam ever fights at 155 again. The way he was talking about it, and obviously we've seen him, the weight cut's tough on him. And once you go up and once you fight at 170 and you don't have to starve yourself and kill yourself to cut weight, yeah, I think it's hard to go back down. Topuria, on the other hand, has talked about wanting to go up to 170. Maybe another part of him, want to chase that McGregor feel, that McGregor vibe or whatever, complete the McGregor Infinity Gauntlet. So I think it's much more likely that Topuria would go up to 170, but I know he's fucking dense, but he's not a 170. I mean, McGregor, I guess, wasn't a 170 fighter either, and he made that work, to the best that he did with the opponents and fights and whatnot. I'm so sick of champs now. Instantly wanted to go for double status. I know McGregor kicked the door down and kind of ruined it. Not ruined it, but he changed the game in a tough way. In that way, should Pantoja be top 5 pound for pound? I think he should be top 3. We were talking about this week when Jones was finally removed from the pound for pound, and some fighters were moving up and stuff. I think Aspinall moved up 3 spots out of pure fear or whatever. And Pantoja was 9, I think. And Ev brought that up, and Ev was like, he gets disrespected like crazy in the pound for pound rankings. Pound for pound rankings are always so hard to determine, but yeah, he probably is a top 5 pound for pound fighter. He's unbelievable. He's one of the champs in the UFC that feels unbeatable right now. That Pantoja division is on life support, like the heavyweight division. It's tough. It's just because honestly, it's a really good division, I think. Look at the fucking Royval Van fight. But it's tough. What else do we got? Wise for Dustin to retire and not experience Ilya. Yeah, I mean, he's like Randy Orton legend killer status. Like, don't fuck with that at this point. If you're a legend, if you're a likable legend in the UFC, don't fuck with that. I think Talbot is all the way back, so I haven't talked about this yet. Talbot with a big underdog win. We were talking this week about how it felt like a showcase in maybe the opposite direction, where a few years ago they were showcasing Talbot. Now was he trying to be fed like the lamb to the slaughter? But he looked great. He looked good. Got the win. 165 for both belts. Dana will never give in to 165. He's so stubborn about that. He said, like, never while I'm in the UFC will we have 165. Early thought on Harrison versus Nunez. I don't know. It's so hard to say, like, what version of Amanda Nunez shows up. She's been away for a long time. I don't know how much she's been training. I don't know. We saw a version of her that Juliana Pena could beat. And obviously, I think if Kayla Harrison shows up facing that Amanda Nunez, I think she beats her. But Amanda Nunez is the GOAT for a reason, and those hands are fucking crazy. That's a super fight in my eyes. That is a super fight. That is gonna be awesome. But to be quite honest, I'm pretty biased to Kayla Harrison. She's been super cool to us. I would like to see her take down Nunez and kind of complete her Infinity Gauntlet. I watched Endgame last night. It was on in the hotel. That explains the references. What else do we got? All honesty, I don't see Paddy getting out of the first round, regardless of his size. Bro, I think he will. I know it's just pure speculation at this point. I think he will. I think he stays on the outside a little more, mixes in some grappling, shows his strength, shows his judo. I hope. I mean, years ago, the first time I saw Paddy fight live is maybe the first time. It was the second time I met him. He came to the office briefly, but the first time I really hung out with him, we were sitting on a hotel bed discussing Topuria attacking him in the lobby and him throwing eggs at Topuria and shit. Or that hand sanitizer. I think Topuria threw eggs at Paddy. Paddy threw the hand sanitizer at him. So this is a fight years in the making and a rivalry years in the making. I wound up wearing a security shirt around Paddy that whole weekend just to try to keep Ilya away, Crazy, though. Crazy stuff. Crazy way to end International Fight Week. And then for Dana to say, like, I can't believe Paddy got led in the octagon. That should have never happened. I was like, what the hell? This has happened before, and we love it. I thought that was awesome. It was a great visual or whatever. Before we get Jack and Ev on here, let me tell you everyone about our final sponsor of the night, That is Blue Chew. We know Blue Chew. They've got the best reads. Listen to this. Guys, enter the room dick first. Blue Chew isn't just a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. Let me put on the little Blue Chew lower third here so you guys could use our promo code. This ain't a supplement. It's an erection resurrection. Guys, this ain't just about performance. This is about legacy or your third leg-a-see. Give her group chat something to talk about. You know when you lay it down, they're talking about how it gets up. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at bluechew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code SPINNIN at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Blue Chew for free for a month. SPINNIN is the promo code, SPINNIN, no G at the end, just like in our handle. It's SPINNIN. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head to bluechew.com for details and safety info. And thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. All right, here we go. We've got Jack on the line. Welcome, Jack.
Yo, just got back to the hotel. That was phenomenal. My voice is a little bit gone, but what a night!
What a night of fights, huh? Unbelievable. How was it live?
No, it was awesome. I mean, Ilya did what a lot of us thought he would do, but still, he did what he did in such a fashion that is so impressive. Everything's probably already been said. I can't wait for him against Paddy. I really hope that's the next fight. Did you see what Dana said?
I just talked about that. I said it was kind of I was shocked. Well, Dana being like, that should have never happened. Like, I think everyone thought that was awesome for the most part.
I think the issue was Ilya's family was in the cage, and he was concerned. Now,
yeah, the push and yeah.
If I'm Paddy, I'm hitting up Dana and I'm saying, bro, like I handled that really well. Like Ilya pushed me and I didn't push back. So shout out Paddy for that.
Yeah, he was done. But
overall, just like a great night of fights. And it was a lot of fun. It's always fun. The crowd was great. Saw potentially fight of the year. The Pantoja Kai Kara France fight was whatever, but Pantoja reminded everybody. And then Joshua Van has become such a star in such a small part of like a small time frame that it's just so impressive. And shout out to him. And
that fight was insane. People going nuts for that. Was that the loudest they like the end of that fight? Was that the loudest the crowd was, or was it Topuria's knockout at the end of the night?
I think it's tough because the Topuria Islam was like right away, and everyone was just like, "Oh my god, holy shit, holy shit!" The Royval ban was just, it just kept going up and up and up and up, and then that knockdown. People were already on their feet though, because they were so into the fight, because it was like that was the final 15 seconds, and people were clapping. They were like, "Thank you for that fight," and then he landed it. The question for me, this is something that unfortunately will never be answered. I thought it was potentially Royval's round up until that. And I wonder if he potentially, because it was 29-28 on two of those scorecards. So if that could have potentially been Royval, but anyways, it was amazing. Sat next to Ev. We had some pretty good seats. And then there's a couple next to us from Texas that was really nice too. They were into it just as much as we were. And it was a great crowd.
Ev, welcome. How was the night?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't think people realize the greatness we're witnessing in Ilya Topuria. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen anything like it, where these guys who like have good chins and are like legends, like champions, like all of them, multiple title defenses, he's just murdering them one by one. And not just like Like not just beating them, like taking their heads off, taking their lights out. Like name one time you've seen Charles Oliveira just like laid out limp on the mat like that ever. Like he's lost fights. People called him a quitter back in his early days, younger. I mean, to just be flatlined like that. Yeah. And he told you he was going to do it. He celebrated his victory last night.
Yeah.
Like
it's crazy.
Forget before the Volk fight, he made his record like another win more and just said like champion, like in his bio before the fight happened. Like I've never seen a fight like it's even more than Conor, because Conor was even more brash. Like Ilias, he's so calm. Like he just knows he's gonna win. He knows exactly how he's gonna win, and he just does it. Like he landed a flush right hand, and Charles was dead. It's unbelievable.
That quote that he said to Joe Rogan during his interview, where he was like, "I know I'm the best. I know I'm gonna win, but the challenge for me is I want to make the performance that much elite, that much better." And he did it again. I mean, Ev and I were talking in the car in the Uber. It was crazy getting back. And he was just like, and I think this is a really fair point. This is the closest we've ever been to a three division champ. And we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves too much. But man, if he beats Paddy, Islam beats JDM, nothing will ever reach the hype of Conor, Habib. But this will be.
It'd be crazy.
It would be, everybody would be watching, and it's a fight that will be there no matter what. But who knows? We'll see. And who knows? Maybe even Paddy finds something. You never know.
Yeah.
Were you guys surprised that Oliveira did what he said he was going to do in terms of Jack? I saw you ask Topuria earlier this week, how's the fight going to go? And Topuria was like, well, Charles has been saying he's just going to come forward. If he does come forward like that, I'm going to finish him quick. He was 100,000% right, obviously. But I thought when Charles is saying that, he's just fucking with the media or whatever. And he's going to use his range and he's going to fight smart. I kind of thought that wasn't fighting smart at all tonight. That shocked me.
Ev was talking to me about this. I completely agree with what you've been saying.
He just, name one time you've ever seen Charles ever fought and he didn't fight like that.
Yeah.
He just, all he knows is go forward. I just think so. And I think Charles, and even just hearing him talk leading up to this, his mindset, his mentality, he's not, he got here by walking forward. And a lot of people are talking about it. This is a man who has taken flush punches from Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler. He's taken big punches from all of them. He's been knocked down, phased, but never just put to sleep. He just That's why I loved Ilias so much, and under 1.5, Topuria first round, everything, because I knew Charles was going to walk forward.
Oh, did you come back around? I mentioned earlier that you said that the early card was not doing great for you. Did you come back around with the main event? I knew you.
Yeah, the co-main. I was big on Pantoja too, so I had Pantoja sub, fight doesn't go, Pantoja parlay with Topuria. I had Topuria. I tailed Jack. He had some good parlays. I just parlayed everyone with Topuria.
You do well too, Jack.
I was very similar to Av. Outside of the co-main, I had a decent, I had a under the prelims, not so great. Ilya really saved me, specifically round 1 KO. But it was a Dariush. What a performance! I
literally haven't even mentioned that. Yeah,
plus 250 by decision was
real good.
It's easily forgettable because what we saw after that was just greatness, every fight. But Dariush, that's a huge win. First win for him since 2022, I think.
Yeah, let me get your guys' in arena reaction to the RoboCop finish,
bro. Oh my god. We were on RoboCop, so that was good. I was on Fight Doesn't
Go.
But
when he's down for 5 minutes, is the vibe holy fuck? Did we just witness murder?
It was. It was just seeing how he didn't move for 5-10 minutes. And I was saying this. I was texting one of my buddies about it. I doubt they show this on the broadcast. He couldn't walk, Robbie. When they brought him, they had to help him step by step, out of the cage. and down the stairs. Like every stair, they had 2 grown men like holding him each like hard and helping him like one step, next step. Like it was crazy.
Oh my
I was
God.
scared. I was genuinely scared. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I mean, everyone immediately on Twitter, everyone was killing Herb Dean.
Yeah.
And honestly,
I mean,
rightfully so, probably.
he deserves it for
honest.
that.
I mean,
Yeah, he deserves it for that.
Because I said to Jack too, I noticed it in real time. Like it wasn't one of those where like he hit him and was kind of already in the action of like going for the next one and kind of just like in that blackout. Like he hit him, saw he was down, like took a full step, shimmied around his limp body.
Yeah.
And then went like bang. Like it was like Herb's got to get in there faster. That was, I mean,
yeah.
He was.
I said maybe the most vicious knockout of the year because of the follow-up shot, whether you like it or not, like whether you agree with the follow-up shot or not, which like whatever, heat of the moment, whatever you want to call it. It was like one of the latest, most vicious follow-up shots ever, though. I said that was like H-bomb level, where it's like
without question.
Oh my God. We did get this question a lot in the chat. What do you do with Moicano now?
There's a lot of fun fights for him still. I think he's still like
that division especially
loved and respected.
Who would you give him if I pull up the
Moicano? Moicano got some of the biggest pops tonight, dude. Like he was. Also, I will say, and this was before what happened with Ilya, I think Paddy got the biggest pop tonight.
I think so too.
And
in the crowd.
Oh, really?
I think so.
And I think that's so crazy to look back on because like a year ago, 18 months ago, like I think he would have been booed.
Post Gordon fight, he definitely was.
After the Gordon fight, people felt like they soured on him. That Chandler performance was fucking crazy, though. I think that opened people's eyes where they were like, oh, like he actually belongs with the big boys.
Yo, Ab, you should bring this up. Maybe quote tweet Ali, be like, hey.
Like I thought about it actually. Should I do it today? Should I do it right now? Should I do it live on the show?
Hey Ali, I may have known what I was talking about.
Hey, could you do Moicano Chandler?
That's fun.
You could. You definitely could.
I feel like that'd be a fun
maybe
fight.
Maybe like a Moicano like Ludwig Klein, maybe someone like that.
Yeah.
There's definitely fights out there.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting
like quote
fight.
tweet the finish and just tag him.
Yeah, or
should I go back to my initial
maybe the initial,
or you could just take a quote tweet or take a screenshot of his quote tweet in our tweet, and then tweet yo at Ali. I may have known what I was talking about here, or care to comment, something like that. This is good from Abraham. Moicano versus Joel Alvarez would be really good, especially
that
Joel.
Would be good.
Joel's made it official. He's going up to 170, so that should be that's an interesting new contender in that division. No, but I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else that really stood out to us at the fights. Peyton Talbot,
Terrence McKinney. I said, Peyton Talbot looked good,
and Talbot. And I know it was an America versus American versus Sweden/Brazil fight, but there was a lot of chance for him, a lot of USA chance, and that's really good. And I think that quote that he said, I'm backing on Peyton Talbot when he said, like, I feel like I'm a real fighter now. I came back from a loss. Like, I think that was that was a huge turning point for Peyton Talbot's career, where it's like, do you care enough to get back in there and really grind it out? And he grinded out. I thought he fought really, really well. And that was a really, really big win for him. And I can't wait to see who he has next because he's right back in there. He may not have as much hype, but he's right back.
Here's a fun fact for Mitt Romney. Pantoja holds the MMA record for the longest streak without ever being finished. That's a really fun fact.
And it's crazy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's crazy because you think of so many. This is a good point from MMA
Super Chat.
That is a good point.
He says, I'm confused. Isn't Volk the 45 champ? How is Topuria double champ? He's really not. It's just he wanted this aesthetic. I mean, he's not.
He's double like lifetime champ.
Yeah.
He's just like a 2-belt champ in theory.
And like he just wanted to be like McGregor. That's his whole like.
Honestly,
goal.
he's doing every checkbook. Like, yeah.
And it's crazy. He does the same thing where he's like, he tells us how he's going to do it, and then he does it. Like, I mean,
it's Mystic Mac.
crazy.
It's shout out MMA Fanatic, by the way, for the $4.99. Thank you. Appreciate you watching up late with us. The McKinney finish was exactly what you want out of a McKinney International Fight Week fight. It's just like in and out, crazy flash highlight reel. And Slava, I tweeted like Slava fought as hard as you could possibly fight to try to get out of that.
Yeah, I mean, McKinney, McKinney did exactly what he had to do. Ab pointed this out, but Slava Klaus putting on the Slava Klaus hat after getting finished. We were
insanity. You can't get choked out in 55 seconds and then put a Santa hat back on. That's insane.
No, that's an absolutely great call. That is,
and I like Slava Klaus. Preposterous.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. All right. Do you want to call it? I'm keeping Tommy Smokes up over here.
I'll tell Tommy I said what's up, and then thanks for
Tommy. Jack says what's up.
What's up?
Jack says what's up.
Tell Jack I said hey.
He says hey.
I'm naked. Come say hi.
He says he's naked. Otherwise, he'd come say he's in the bathroom. It feels it feels real. Like pause. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And like, there's 2 beds in there, right?
I showed the chat before. 2 beds. 2 beds. I promise.
Robbie, thanks for thanks for Jack. What would the Topuria Islam line be? We were talking about this at 155. I said it would be Islam -1 or Ilya -130, -150. Ev is a bit opposite of me though.
I think like a pick'em. Maybe. Well, my thing is, I think if Islam won it once, if he beats JDM at 170 and goes back down to 155 to fight him, I think Islam would be the favorite. Because I think the visual of him being the double champ, winning at 170. I think if he loses to JDM and then comes back down to 155 to fight Ilya, then I think Ilya could potentially be a favorite, a small favorite though at most. My guess would be like it'd be like a pick'em. Like, I think it really just depends on how Islam's fight goes at 170. I think that'll kind of determine a little bit of swing on the line.
Would he be one of the shortest 170ers ever?
Definitely. Well, that's what I said to Jack. I said could the sicko do it? Like, could he do it? But then I thought about it in my brain. I'm sitting there and I'm like, imagine him fighting like JDM, like Sean Brady, like just like Shavkat. Imagine him fighting Shav. Imagine Ilya or Shavkat.
I mean,
like
it feels like Shavkat would tower over him.
Yeah, it's just a size difference that I think would just be like
Paddy towered over him.
Impossible to overcome.
But Max towered over him. Charles towered over him.
My point in bringing it up was I think if there's ever anyone that could do it, like maybe this is the guy. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if being a three division champ in the UFC is possible, but if it's possible, maybe this is the guy. I don't know.
All right. We're going to call it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being in the chat, especially to those who sent super chats. Shout out Jack and Big Ev crushing it in Vegas this week. Go to the Spin and Backfist pages. A lot of good videos, and we will catch you back in New York.
See,